Hi, welcome to StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as J Nitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 466.
Awesome.
466. We've already got a hello from sunny Florida. That's nice, Pat. I would appreciate being in sunny Florida as well, although it's going to be like almost 50 here in the next couple of days, according
Right?
to our weather. So not
I feel a couple colds coming on with my
Don't joke
with my
about that. We've actually been battling. So last week was influenza A. Not a lot of sleeping and a lot of coughing was going on in my
Mhm.
house. And that was after, the great pertussis outbreak. Your
Just
family's been
getting
staying
all the
well? Yeah.
hits. Oh, got a mute going on here.
Yeah, your family been staying well?
So far, so good, knock on wood.
Uh,
We my husband has a doctor's appointment on Thursday, so for for something. So I'm a little like I want it to all be normal, but we'll
mm,
find out. So that's just a
uh,
little thing in the
yeah,
back of my
fingers
head.
crossed.
Yes.
We're getting all of the superstitions in. Knock on wood, fingers crossed.
Yes. Yes. Right. Right. That's the year. This is the year for it, right?
Yeah, yeah, we're all in on the being fairly superstitious. But yeah, yeah, no, it's Pat says we can come visit her. That would be fabulous,
Oh,
Pat.
that'd be nice.
Um, yes. I think that my more recent like maybe we should go there is at the end of February. Anna, our speaker for ZK, is got her next book is launching. And it's going to be, they're going to have a launch party at a book slash bike store in Chicago. I
What?
was like, I need to go there. Sorry. Uh,
It can't get too excited,
yeah.
apparently.
Or laugh. Yeah, it's just it's a thing, which is like my personality, right? I get excited and I laugh a lot. Um, but anyway, yeah. So I didn't know such a store existed. So thank you, Anna, for making that, putting that on my radar. And congratulations on the new book.
Yeah. I mean, if the weather holds out, that sounds like a fun road trip. You should totally do that.
Mm, absolutely, absolutely. Maybe swing through Madison on
Yeah.
some part of it, and yeah, yeah. But yeah, not a ton going on here. Jeremy was feeling well enough that we went and listened to my grandma's cardigan on
Hmm.
Saturday at Thesis. He really enjoys them. I got a fun little sticker, which of course I don't have right here. But it's got a cat kind of pulling on a ball of yarn
Hmm.
as part of their logo, which is fun.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Speaking of like interesting things, I have a friend who got a machine knitting,
ooh,
oh, it is circular sock machine,
hmm.
and has been making tubes for me. I have a total of three now. One got fully made into socks, and I have other two waiting. But she's gonna be able to go to a crank in her very first of that variety. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's some group out of Iowa called PIG or Pigs or something. So if you're a part of that group in Iowa, shout out. Sounds like it's going to be a fun event. And I said, oh, if they're selling a machine, let me know if I can buy one. So that Wednesday, there might be like a cryptic message coming in, and I'll have to drive to Iowa on on Saturday to pick up a sock knitting machine. But um, not that I'm fully on board with that yet, but if the price is right at this point, I might actually go and pick it up.
Yeah.
Brand new, these things can run you as much as like $2,500. So, um, usually the aftermarket is pretty stable. So it's not like you're getting a huge discount in the aftermarket. But sometimes if you get like an antique or one that, has been with somebody for a while, you can get them in closer to the 600 to 1500 or $600 to $1,500. So I'm not going to hold my breath, but thought that that was fun. And yeah, I don't have anything else to talk about except for my favorite things that I
Oh,
am
cool.
excited to
Yeah,
talk
I was
about.
just going to call out. We did announce last week that we've got our 2025 Craft Your Luck craft along that will be year long. We announced the first four prompts, of which we hope in the first 3 months of the year you can do one at least, average at least one a month. Been having a ton of fun looking at or trying to find responses for the prompts for myself. And then also some entries have come in and reading about those new and old and inspired and your favorite hue. We are having a kickoff. It'll be February 1st, which is funny. It's like it's a year long, but like our kickoff is in the second month. Or sorry, February 2nd. Sunday, not February 1st. Yeah, hopefully you can join and get inspired there. I think that'd be a really easy one to find out somebody else's plans and get inspired by their plans, maybe for the latter half of the January, February, March timeframe.
Mhm.
And be able to call them out and say their plans inspired me for one of the prompts. And yeah, making plans for that, making plans for our ZK craft along, and excited. So that Sunday event is open to all. And make sure that you go out and join even as a free member in Patreon, and you'll get notification about that with those Zoom links later. If you're already a ZKN member, you've already got it in your inbox. So yeah, excited about that. And I also put our vendor list for ZK out on Patreon last night.
Oh,
So
fun.
yeah, take a look at those guys. We're excited about them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like I'm in shadow because you're so bright today. But I I have been planning and plotting, but I've also been doing a lot of monogamous knitting to try to complete things. Um, so I get a bunch of things started and then I start to hyper focus on one. So I've gotten a lot of things finished recently. I just need to find out how I want to enter those things. And there might be a few that get planned in that process, right? Like what I future want to do to meet the categories. So, did you care to go on to favorite things or?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. So, one of my favorite things that I did over the past week is I did join Blue Sky. I think that my first week on board with this new social media for me, because I was never a user of Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, and this is kind of like that. So it's a new experience as far as that type of social media. I'm heavily a pictures gal, so Instagram was my jam. I loved it. But then when it got to be so many videos and um, just being advertised to. Like even the things that I find enjoyable about it is still an ad, and so I've been mm, losing my love for that. Also, um, as somebody who works in tech, again, this is going to be super personal, and I don't expect anybody else to feel this way, but Mark Zuckerberg did a layoff announcement where he said that the least 5% performing people will be laid off. And I find that very icky. Like that leaves a horrible taste in my mouth because not only are these people going to be losing their jobs, they're also going to be getting like a big like mark on their record that says if you were laid off in this time period from this company, you were laid off due to poor performance. And so that is going to follow them into their
Yeah.
next job. And so it just gave me a bad taste in my mouth. And
Yeah,
so,
not only you're like kicking them when they're down, right? Not only
yeah,
do they not have a job, but now there's like the stigma out there that perhaps they were not doing a good job
right. Well,
to
and
be a part of that.
announcing
Yeah.
it so far in advance of actually doing it as well is also kind of an extra, like, like a guillotine over your head. You feel like, am I going to be one of the underperformers?
Yeah.
And you never know how these decisions are actually made, right? When it gets down to it, you might be the best performer in um, some structure that's not performing well in general, right? Like, so you never know how these decisions are made, and it just gave me the ick. And knowing that my participation in Instagram was kind of mediocre at best, right? Like, I would come in once in a great while and post a picture. I was just like, okay, maybe this is time to set this down for a while and try something new. So, so the ads and then the CEO's announcement kind of made me yuck.
Yeah. I
um,
also
but
joined Blue Sky. I have not been out on Instagram for my own reasons recently. Most of it just that like at one point it started to feel like I had to, right, to
oh
keep
yes,
up
a
with the
chore.
algorithm, and something inside of me was like rebelled against that, right? You're
Can't tell me
forcing
what to
me to
do.
do something so that people can actually see my posts, or forcing me to post often so that people can see my posts. Anyway, I haven't posted to either Blue Sky or Instagram in a long bit. So just kind of like social media in general. I've been struggling with, not a specific platform. So but
Well,
yeah.
I guess another favorite thing, because I've had a week on the app, is that I immediately, when I changed my settings to have the feeds not post reshares from people. So it's only the things that are coming directly from them, that they've posted their own picture and their own words, and not just reshares. I left quotes in, so if you wanted to quote somebody else's thing and put your own spin on it, then I kept that in. But it's giving me the early days of Instagram feels, because I'm not seeing advertisements, and I'm only seeing, I have a very small, less than 50 people following me. So a very small um, feed that is I would say 95% knitting. I can't even think right now of a person that I followed that wasn't a knitter. And so it's it's just a little bit happier place for me right now. It's like, oh, look, it's kind of like the old days where you post a picture, you pop in, you see what's new, and you actually, there's an end, like there's like oh, yep, I saw this before. Time to get out, jump in, jump out. You're not endlessly scrolling. It's good. It's a better feeling than I've had on Instagram in a long time. So um, just that newness and no ads, no sponsored posts coming at me every three scrolls or whatever is another thing that I am currently enjoying. I know that that won't last very long if they want to stay in business, but for now, I'm really enjoying it. Gosh, these shadows are really playing with me. Like, where is this coming
Yeah.
from?
And obviously, no judgment to those that are still enjoying
Oh,
Instagram
no,
or any
absolutely
other
not.
social media, like as far as like my statements either, right? Like if you're out there posting every day, I'm very happy for you. But like my own mental, like I was like, oh, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm excited about what I'm working on every day, right? So there's
Mhm.
obviously a photo that I could take, but then, yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, just like my motivation to do that went from like, oh yeah, I'm doing that, to like, meh. And you know me, I'm a person of extremes, right? And so yeah, again,
It
everybody's got
reminds
their own.
it reminds me of that book, The Circle. I think it was a movie too. Was Tom Hanks in it? Anyway, my brain isn't functioning the greatest. So The Circle is like about sharing your life and how important that is, and they want 100% transparency from everybody.
Mhm.
And so people start wearing body cams, and like any experience you have that you don't share gets what is it, bad points or whatever. They chastise you for that. And then there's the Luddites that are like rebelling against it. Like, I am not going to post. You can't have this part of my life. I will have secrecy and privacy. And so
Yeah.
I can it that it's there's this one character that's getting chased by the main girl, for lack of a better term. And in
I don't
some
know
case,
that that's my experience.
she's not going to run you off a bridge. Oh, spoiler alert! But yeah, she buys in wholeheartedly on the main character, and then the people around her don't, like her parents. So it's an interesting story. It was fast paced, easy read, but again, anytime I feel like rebelling against technology, I think of that book.
Oh,
Like, I don't want to
okay.
share
I was like,
everything
I
about
don't
my
know that
life.
I'm like that extreme, Amy. I don't know that I call myself a Luddite,
Well,
but
they didn't either, right? It starts
yeah,
small, and then they realize that their life is slowly turning into a TV show for everybody to watch. And it's
yeah,
like, I don't want people to watch every aspect of my life. So, um,
yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
yeah, technology.
All that to say, enjoy everybody's photos of their what's making them happy out there.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And
Um,
again, like I think of it more of, like, just it's a new place that hasn't been corrupted by um
yeah.
the commerce of it all, right? So it
That
still
said, I
feels
did recently
good.
buy something from an Instagram ad, my first one.
Yeah, yeah. I
Womp
don't know
womp.
I'll let you know when my first purchase off of Blue Sky is.
Okay, okay.
It'll probably be me following some yarn dyer and them showing me something very pretty, but
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, a couple of my favorite things that isn't what I'm knitting, because I feel like I always hold up what I'm knitting, which is kind of like a hack for works in progress. And we can get to that, but have been a lot of like either my gift cards or my birthday presents from earlier
Mhm,
this month. So like I got this Awala from
mhm, yep.
from Target. It's a very pretty green with some pink. I love the pink green combo and blue. My daughter brought like five of these home and was like, "Mom, can you help me wash these?" And I was just amazed when I was washing it how easily like it tore down.
Mm,
And I also really enjoyed like it's got this locking ring, so that keeps the top from coming. You can carry it. And then it's got this like there's a straw. I'm sorry, I just pulled this
yep.
up, but there's a straw attached to this little yeah, hole right
Mouthpiece, yep.
there. Yeah, mouthpiece right there. And she pointed it out to me as well, a mechanical engineer, fluid dynamics. But like most water bottles that have straws, they don't have like a place for the water to go in. So you end up sucking really hard to get the air or to get the water out.
Um,
Because there's this like chuggable mouth area, like I don't have to, it's like a really easy sip
mhm.
because the air to offset the sip is very easily goes in. I also love that there's the chugging piece there as well. So yeah, deconstructed, washed up really nice, and loved kind of the mouth piece of it all. So a favorite new water bottle that's got me chugging lots of water as
Yeah.
of late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've definitely seen those. I am in my what do you want to what? I'm not gonna buy a new water bottle. I have one phase of life. But yes, I noticed that there was a bunch of nurses or something carrying them because they're of that standard size. You can kind of put them in the side of a backpack or
yeah.
clip them onto something, so they're a lot more portable than the Stanleys and such.
Yeah, and a lot like I'm not worried about this,
Yeah,
spilling at
for sure.
all. I was a little hesitant with the pouring piece. But yeah, gift cards. So my mom gave me a Target gift card for my birthday, and I was like, kind of had the same stance of like, I'm not buying myself another water bottle, but like you can buy whatever you want with a gift card. In my
Yeah.
opinion. So like get the thing that you're telling yourself that you want, but you won't let yourself get with the gift card. So
I
I
had
got that.
somebody show me one of those a while ago, a nurse, and yeah, I was very heavily swayed, but I didn't buy it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I stuck to my guns.
Yeah, and I haven't started putting stickers or anything on it. Like I could see
Yeah.
where like wanting to put have more space could mean that I would want another one.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so that's definitely one of my favorite things.
Awesome. Yeah, I have a big pile of yarn over here
Mm.
because it's been collecting. Some of it was purchased in the previous year, but arrived this year. So I have Lavender Loon. This
Ooh.
is the Pima Cotton Merino in the Polaris colorway. I
Ooh.
thought this was going to be more blue
Hmm.
um, than this, but it is kind of like a greeny blue. Um,
It's kind of got a haze to it, or like
Oh
a
yeah,
yeah,
it's like a brushed cotton
cool.
fluff. Yeah, it's gonna be a very cozy. I got six skeins of this, and there's two. It's a worsted 218 yards, um, but six skeins should get me something very lovely.
Mm.
Good sweaters quantity. So I believe this was during a sale that she had going on. So it took me a moment to pull the trigger, but I eventually did. And then every year, I do the Buffy birthday sale. So 716 Knit does on Buffy the Vampire Slayer's birthday, she does 19% off because it is January 19th. So I have Watching Too Many Creature Features.
Mm.
Love this color though. As soon as I got it,
Yeah,
I wish I had bought more.
yeah, it's very pretty.
Yeah. And it's going to make an awesome pair of socks potentially. And then you can't have a Jenna without the 20% cooler colorway.
Mm.
I love this colorway. I think it's so much fun. And so I bought it in a DK so I could whip up something quick for our KALs in
Oh.
vendor yarn. And maybe I'll go looking for a designer hat for this, but it is the Pride base that is the DK. So 270 yards, good put up for a DK.
Hmm.
Very nice. Last but not least, I decided to go out and try. This was kind of a pre-order, die-to-order situation. Nerdy Knits. So I purchased it a while ago, but it arrived in January. So we got these beautiful, beautiful colors. Like it's reading a lot brighter in the sunshine today. Um, but it's a very moody, sanguine, I would call a sanguine colorway. And it's called Elster. Nerdy Knits, most of the things are based on video games. So if that sounds familiar to you because you play a certain video game,
Yeah.
maybe the inspiration will be obvious. But I just bought it because of the beautiful color. And I got kind of on this kick of buying things for that one tank pattern that I had made. Um, so I'd already made it in the Jon Snow colorway from Suburban Stitcher. And I loved the finished object so much, then I went crazy and bought a bunch of duos, two skein duos to make more of them. And I have yet to make any. But I think it's analysis
Totally own that
paralysis.
I do that. Totally own that I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. So it's kind of analysis paralysis as far as like there's so many things that I could cast on right now, and these are not of the DK plus weight, which is our first 2 months challenge.
Yep.
So I am probably going to cast on two of these in February, um, I mean, sorry, March to make up for my lack of doing them because I have that really, 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 really bright yellow that's Don't Be Suspicious that I bought for that pattern. So I want to make that from Oink pigments. And then this here. And that was purchased at ZK, and this is a vendor this year. So super excited to have a new vendor. And Nerdy Knits is doing some really cool things.
Yeah,
So
it's beautiful.
So yeah, so we got, somebody like Sam who's been there from the beginning, and we got some, and Jenna, of course. Jenna's been there since the beginning, and Nerdy Knits as a new one. So I I bought many of those in 2024, but they arrived in 2025. So they are going against my 2025 yarn in. So my numbers are pretty awful this month. Um, but I have knit more than that has come in. It just should have been a bigger number.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Tracking always has its yeah, pluses and minuses, right? Literally and figuratively.
Right. Well, and I do have and I didn't find it. But the January colorway from Woolens and Nosh is gorgeous. It is so me. I love every bit of it. It's kind of like I want to say it's like stones. Like if you were to look at like River Rock or whatever, it reminds
Mhm.
me of that. It's very beautiful colorway. And
Yeah.
then and then I'm also in the Farmer's Daughters Fibers Club. I want to knit some of those this year, but I have yet. Again, I think it's mainly because a lot of the stuff we're working on is the bulky or,
Hmm.
bigger yarns. So all of my sock knitting yarns are just kind of waiting for March 1st. And then I will cast on all the things and be overwhelmed once again. But anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
mhm,
again, I fully embraced the challenge of the heavier weight yarns and looked at my heavyweight my heavier weight sweaters quantity. I did finish my Bumble sweater. I think you guys saw it when I had just finished or had gotten the sleeves on. That'll be in an upcoming episode. But now which was also combining yarns because the contrast, I did a sport with the mohair. The sweater I'm wearing is a combo of mohair and like a
mhm,
pretty crazy sweater quantity of fingering weight, and it kind of helped mellow
yep,
it out.
mhm.
And then I have just this is Jaeger spun Zephyr, which
Oh,
is like
yep.
a 50-50 merino and silk that I picked out to hold with Muse 2320 fire zombie fireworks. So
Hmm.
again, you can combine that alchemy, right, of yarns together and create that heavier weight. Like, I don't know, I look at this and I'm like, oh, that purple is just going to be like a really nice little, like fleck in there. And instead, um, it's giving like, I don't know, the purple totally dominates it.
Oh, wow.
Like
Yeah.
it's so skinny, right?
Right, right,
Relative to
right.
the main.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, it's giving totally purple and like with a little bit of like oh God, why can't I think of the word? Like with the flecks of color.
Like
Ah,
Donegal?
yeah, like a tweed, almost like a
Dongle?
tweed. It's
Tweed.
giving like
Yeah.
almost like a tweed, right?
Hmm. Yes.
No
I
tweed,
see it.
no tweed at all, right? And just that. So the alchemy of combining yarns and not knowing what you're going to get, right? It's just like
Yeah.
amazing to me.
Yeah. I have pictures on my Blue Sky account of this alchemy, but I put all shucks
Hmm.
with this blue it's a cashmere that I bought from going out of business sale. And I have some of their completed yarn or finished yarn, but this is just kind of their single strand um, cobweb weight. And so I wound off so that I could have this doubled up, and then with
Ah.
this, and yeah, the blue is dominating. Now, granted, this is flashing in the finished object. Across the yoke, everything was the same cadence in the pattern, so it's flashing like green, yellow, blue, so you can get a sense of the aw shucks in it, but the blue is dominating a
Hmm.
lot more than I thought it would. But
Yeah.
I need to wind this up. That's why it's sitting close to me, so that I can get to the second half of that sweater.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, more
I'm
alchemy.
also making use of old ZK yarn. I believe I got this from Webs last year about this time, because I had started wearing my falling leaves sweater, which
Hmm.
the marl there was just a lace weight, and I was like, I don't have much like non-mohair lace weight to like marl
Hmm.
with something, so I got like very generous skeins, like over 1,000
Mm.
yards per skein in the lace weight for that Zephyr spun or the Jaeger spun Zephyr. And I was like, oh, that'll be fun to hold with something. But again, not thinking that it would like completely dominate the
Right.
color, which is like, wow. Again, some of that could be the color and not the weight. I'm putting
Hmm.
too much weight in the weight of the yarn. um,
No,
but
I
yeah,
would
it's
have been
just like
surprised by that too. It's very purple.
yeah, it's so purple. Like it almost feels like the yarn, like the opposite, right? Like you would
Hmm.
assume that like this is the like really skinny strand and that this was like a bulky or something, right? But yeah, just one strand of each, and it's super fun in real life as well. So yeah, really been digging that. Definitely been one of my favorite things. And much like you were saying with your, you knit that tank top, and now all you could see is tank tops. Now I'm looking at my stash with like, oh, what if I combined that with that? What sweater could I make with that? Definitely interested in Hohi's Cake Pop. Which came out last fall and has a strand of
Mm.
mohair held with some fingering. So I've been eyeballing that. But yeah, I think my inspired is going to be inspired by you. So I'm anyway, we'll talk about it on Sunday
No,
in our kickoff.
absolutely.
But
Yeah. I again, like, if it weren't for the flashing, I would feel like the blue is very dominant in the
mm,
mashup that I have going on, which was surprising to me. But yeah,
yeah.
I definitely had the green was layering on top of the green in like it's gonna be like right here, and then the yellow is mashing up on top of the yellow. So it'll be an interesting because it's only flashing in the yolk.
Mm.
It's going to be an interesting combination
Yeah, I don't
when it
know. Something
all said and
about
done.
it, like, I don't know, you've been knitting for a while, right? And it's not that often that something like completely surprises you or takes you off
Right.
guard, right? And so like it just delighted me that it was like, oh, this is not doing what I thought it was going to do at all, but it is fabulous nonetheless.
Yeah,
So yeah, just something again, one of my favorite things about crafting
absolutely.
is that combination and unexpected joy. It sounds like your yoke is surprising you nonetheless as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I've definitely had my fair share of flashing, and I did not mix because it's mohair.
yeah,
Like I don't want to. I won't. Don't want four strands going um, between the held double and the. Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't want that nonsense. I will deal with the flashing being the uniqueness of the yarn, and it'll sing when I wear it. This time around for my love note, I'm going for length rather than
Mhm.
sleeves. So we're gonna go to the length that I want and then have sleeves wherever they may. And I think the
Yes.
last time I made one, I wanted the bubble sleeve that went all the way down to the cuff. So I prioritized sleeves on the last one. This time I'm prioritizing the body. So I'm excited because it'll be a completely different sweater when it's all
Hmm.
said and done. And yeah, I feel like I talked in more percentage than you did, but had a few little rants in there about social media.
Yeah, I do have some yarn here from that's just from Northfield when we did my birthday trip. It's all commercial
Oh,
yarn,
wonderful.
but it's imbued with specialness because Miss Ellie helped me pick it out, and I
Okay.
can now remember her being like, "Well, you obviously need to buy that." Like I said, she was a very great enabler. This is Cricket, which is 100% wool, and it is giving those Tweety
Oh,
flecks. Yeah.
wow. Pretty,
From
pretty.
yes, yeah. And she helped me pick that out. And then this kind of bluish gray as like a
Mm.
contrast with it.
Mhm.
So super love that. This is definitely a favorite hue.
Hmm.
If I were to go that route, I have a lot of green though. So if I need to do a favorite hue, it's not going to be a problem. But yeah, it's like a single ply-esque feel with tweedy bits. And then this is the second year that I've gone and felt this and like been like, so I'll admit that I went up there and I bought it and I was like, I need this in my life. I think maybe I'll hold it with something again because I'm in the hold it double phase. And then oh goodness, name the owner of Northfield Yarn, Cynthia, was like, did you feel the poncho over there? And I'm like, what did they hold it with? And she's like, nothing. It's just this yarn by itself. And I was like, well, that's intriguing. What size needle? And she's like, 8. And I was like,
Oh,
what is this? So it's Mystico is the
oh
Barocco
yes.
Mystico. It's got a lot, so it's like cotton, alpaca, wool, and nylon. So yeah, anti-Amy. But like this poncho is like light as air, but like super
Hmm.
warm on the eights, and it's this just held single. So I've got quite a few skeins here. There's a beautiful green. This is like a blue. I think I fell in love with the blue because it had more pops of other
Hmm.
colors in it. And obviously I
Yeah.
was feeling the tweeds at that moment.
The love notes on tens is like, like
Yeah.
I
Whoosh, right? It's like
love it.
sweater. Like the I mean, I remember knitting the sweater and knitting Ellie's sweater in the course of like 2 weeks, right? It was the
Yeah.
sleeves that felt like they took a long time. But yeah, so it's an interesting I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I had already bought it and Cynthia was like, did you see the poncho that was made of this? Anyway, good
Yeah.
LYS
Salesman.
person making you feel good about your purchase, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's
So
that's cool discovering new yarns and going to some place in person, and being able to discover new yarns because you get
yeah, just
to.
that tactile. I do so much online these days.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as you know, Rochester doesn't have an LYS, and so yeah, it was a treat. And then yeah, to find out about different bases. I'd never seen, heard anything about this cricket from Kelborn Woolens.
We
Oh.
really need a case study or like why does Rochester not keep a yarn shop?
I think
We've
what we
had
need is a
some.
yarn slash coffee slash bike shop.
There we go. Add some books. Throw it
And
all
some
in there.
books, maybe a brewery as well, right? Like, let's just have an amalgamation of all of my family's hobbies in one store, and then, yeah, if nothing else, it's just a place for us to store all of the stuff that we.
All right. So we need to sock away like 3 years worth of
You could put your
leasing
sock machine
cranking. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
there. We could crank there. Yeah,
Yeah.
cranks and cranks.
Oh,
Anyway, yeah.
stars in
Anyway,
there. Like,
you
yeah,
guys,
we
you
can.
guys heard it here first.
Yeah,
Our idea.
we can figure out how to attach the bikes to the cranking machine, and then we can have a sock crank along with biking. Yeah.
Yes. If anything, just a way to keep a yarn shop in Rochester. Combine it with something else. But
Right.
we just had a bike shop go out of business here in Rochester as well. So probably not the best. Anyway, we're now just riffing and having fun with each other.
Well,
Thank
right.
you all
Right.
for joining us. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye, Ufta. Woo!